Inibak sa pwesto at inilipat ng assignment ang 4 na opisyal ng NBI o ng National Bureau of Investigation na nadadawit sa pagdukot at pagpatay sa Korean businessman na si Ji Ik-ju. Tingin naman ng isang kongresista na dating pulis, hindi lang basta tokhang for ransom di manong nangyari kay Ji. May report si Emil Sumangil.
Kaso nila?
Maraming kidnapping cases na ang nahawakan ni dating CIDG Director Romeo Acop bago nagretiro sa serbisyo at maging congressman. Ang alam ni Acop, base daw sa mga karanasan na niya, hindi lang basta tokhang for ransom ang nangyari sa Koreanong si Ji Ik-ju.
Kung kikidnap ka ng isang tao at ransom ang dahilan, bakit mo pinatay ka agad? On the same day that you got him. Pagkakuha, inikot sa Quezon City, dinala sa Camp Crame, and right there and then pinatay. And then, several days later, saka sila humihingi ng ransom. Patay na. And you know, sa kidnap for ransom, yun ang buhay mo, proof of life.
Mungkahi ni Acop sa mga nag-iimbestiga, i-background check pa ng malaliman ang Koreanong biktimang si Ji. Bukod sa mga pulis, tingnan din anya ang involvement ng NBI officials di lamang sa krimen, kundi pati sa online gambling sa Clark, Pampanga. May natanggap daw na impormasyon ng kongresista sa anggulong ito at hindi raw talaga ransom ang dahilan ng pagdukot at pagbatay kay Ji.
The Korean was involved in manpower services from my information.
Okay.
And lahat ito, from my information, merong violation sa ating mga batas yan.
Okay.
So, I think some law enforcers took advantage of this.
Ang isa sa mga suspect na si Superintendent Rafael Dumlao ang nagsabi na may mga kasabwat daw ng mga taga-NBI. Base sa kwento sa kanya ng isa pang suspect na si SPO3, Ricky Santa Isabel. Kapwa itinanggi ni na Dumlao at Santa Isabel na may kinalaman sila sa kaso. Itinanggi rin ni NBI Director Dante Giran na may sangkot na taga-NBI. Ang nadawit na Jerry Omlang na umamin ding kasama ng dukutin si G ay striker o utusan lang daw sa NBI at hindi empleyadong siniswelduhan. Pero kanina, 4 na NBI official ang tinanggal sa pwesto at inilipat sa ibang assignment kaugnay ng kaso ni G. Ang NBI NCR Chief na si Ricardo Diaz binalik sa Regional Operations Service. Ang head agent na si Darwin Lissing na humarap sa pressco noong isang araw kasama ni Omlang inilipat sa Bicol. Si Attorney Roel Bolivar na head ng Task Force versus Anti-Illegal Drugs inilipat sa NBI clearance. Si Attorney Jonathan Galicia naman na deputy ni Bolivar ang papalit sa lugar niya. Si Attorney Jose Yap tinanggal bilang Deputy Director for Investigative Services. Pero ayon sa hepe ng anti-kidnapping group, marami pa raw sangkot. Base sa sinabi sa kanya ni Rafael Dumlao.
Mga alias pa rin yung iba, pero meron na kaming mga effort. Pero yung mga additional, kung i-base natin, kung ano pa yung anong pruebang ibibigay sa atin ni Superintendent Rafael Dumlao sa statement niya, ay siguro meron kung he could.
Dahil sa pangyaring ito, naghain ng resolusyon sa Kamara si Acop para mag-imbestiga kung may breakdown of discipline sa PNP organization at para masiyasat ang recruitment at training sa PNP. Emil Sumangil, GMA News.
Wala na rin daw tiwala si Pangulong Duterte sa National Bureau of Investigation. Pinagbawalan na rin niya ang NBI na pangunahan ang mga operasyon kontra droga. Kasabay ng mga pahayag na yan, may mga birada muli ang Pangulo sa simbahang Katolika. At yan po ang tinutukan ni Cedric Castillo.
Bukod sa PNP, pinagbawalan na rin ng Pangulo ang NBI na magsagawa ng drug operations. Ito ay matapos masangkot ang ilang pulis at tauhan ng NBI sa pagkidnap at pagpatay sa Koreanong si Ji Ik-ju.
And I want to add, even the NBI, the Bureau is suspended from enforcing drug laws. Sali kayo. Kasi nawalaan na akong tiwala sa inyo.
Nawala man daw ang tiwala ng Pangulo sa PNP pero hindi sa kaibigang si General Bato de la Rosa. Ang Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency o PDEA na ang inatasan ng Pangulo na magpatuloy ng war on drugs na tutulungan ng Armed Forces of the Philippines.
I still have to write whether it's a proclamation, executive order, and raise the issue of drugs as a national security threat.
Guest of honor si Pangulong Duterte sa convention ng Philippine Association of Water Districts na ginanap sa Davao City. Nabanggit niya sa talumpati ang pagbawi ng Communist Party of the Philippines sa unilateral ceasefire dahil ayaw daw pakawalan ng gobyerno ang 400 political prisoners.
My God, that is already releasing all. Military might not like it. And then if the military would oust me, would kill me, you have nobody talking to you.
Ayon pa kay Duterte, hindi raw siya diktador para basta-basta lang palayain ang mga political prisoner.
This is a country that is not authoritarian. Nag-withdraw kayo sa ceasefire. So, am I supposed to do the same? Kaya gaya po tumaya. Just go ahead. I will decide in the fullness of God's time.
Akala ninyo ako lang kasi nanalo ako tapos ako na.
Hindi ako diktador,
Pinaulanan din ng Pangulo ng mura ang simbahang Katolika dahil sa pagbatikos nito sa drug war ng administrasyon. Hinamon pa ng Pangulo ang publiko na magbotohan para sa kanyang pagbaba sa pwesto.
You read Ariel Rofo's book, Altar Secrets. It's online. If you think na binastos ko ang simbahang Katoliko, tell me after reading the book, and if majority of you in this room says that I was wrong, I will resign. Write me and we will have a plebiscite.
Mula rito sa Davao City, Cedric Castillo, Nakatutok, 24 Oras.
Bukod sa PNP, pinagbawalan na rin ni Pangulong Duterte ang NBI na magsagawa ng anti-drug operations matapos madawit ang ilang operatiba nito sa pagdukot at pagpatay sa Koreanong si Ji Ik-ju. Ang PDEA o ang Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency at ang AFP o Armed Forces of the Philippines na raw muna ang bahala sa kampanya kontra droga. Samantala, umalma rin ang Pangulo sa pagbawi ng CPP-NPA sa idineklara nitong unilateral ceasefire. Live mula sa Davao City, may report si Cedric Castillo. Cedric.
Jessica, buo pa rin daw ang kumpiyansa ng Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte kay PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa. Ito ay sa kabila ng sinabi ng Pangulo na wala na raw siyang tiwala sa PNP at kasabay nito, gaya ng nabanggit mo, ay inutusan na ni Pangulong Duterte ang NBI na huwag na raw magsagawa ng anti-drug operations. Bukod sa PNP, pinagbawalan na rin ng Pangulo ang NBI na magsagawa ng drug operations. Ito ay matapos masangkot ang ilang pulis at tauhan ng NBI sa pagkidnap at pagpatay sa Koreanong si Ji Ik-ju.
And I want to add, even the NBI, the Bureau is suspended from enforcing drug laws. Sali kayo. Kasi nawalaan na akong tiwala sa inyo.
Nawala man daw ang tiwala ng Pangulo sa PNP pero hindi sa kaibigang si General Bato de la Rosa. Ang Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency o PDEA na ang inatasan ng Pangulo na magpatuloy ng war on drugs na tutulungan ng Armed Forces of the Philippines.
I still have to write whether it's a proclamation, executive order, and raise the issue of drugs as a national security threat.
Guest of honor si Pangulong Duterte sa convention ng Philippine Association of Water Districts na ginanap sa Davao City. Nabanggit niya sa talumpati ang pagbawi ng Communist Party of the Philippines sa unilateral ceasefire dahil ayaw daw pakawalan ng gobyerno ang 400 political prisoners.
My God, that is already releasing all. Military might not like it. And then if the military would oust me, would kill me, you have nobody talking to you.
Ayon pa kay Duterte, hindi raw siya diktador para basta-basta lang palayain ang mga political prisoner.
This is a country that is not authoritarian. Nag-withdraw kayo sa ceasefire. So, am I supposed to do the same? Kaya gaya po tumaya. Just go ahead. I will decide in the fullness of God's time.
Akala ninyo ako lang kasi nanalo ako tapos ako na.
Hindi ako diktador,
Pinaulanan din ng Pangulo ng mura ang simbahang Katolika dahil sa pagbatikos nito sa drug war ng administrasyon. Hinamon pa ng Pangulo ang publiko na magbotohan para sa kanyang pagbaba sa pwesto.
You read Ariel Rofo's book, Altar Secrets. It's online. If you think na binastos ko ang simbahang Katoliko, tell me after reading the book, and if majority of you in this room says that I was wrong, I will resign. Write me, and we will have a plebiscite.
Jessica, sa closing ng kanyang talumpati kanina, sinabi rin ni Pangulong Duterte na mailan daw ng mga practices o kinaugalian na ang simbahang Katolika na hindi raw dapat paniwalaan, katulad ng pasyam at ang konsepto raw ng langit at impyerno. Jessica.
Pero Cedric, hindi lahat pabor na ang kampanya kontra droga ay ilipat sa mga sundalo at sa mga ahente ng PIDEA. Anong tugon dito ng Pangulo kung meron man?
Yeah, Jessica, yan yung isang tanong sana na pinipilit natin kanina makakuha ng tugon mula kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. At least dalawang mga senador yung nagsabi na hindi daw, sa pagkakalam ko si Senator Chis Escudero, sinabi na kailangan daw ng masinsinang training doon sa panig naman ng military para maging police, mag-conduct ng police works. Tapos kung hindi ako nagkakamali, at least dalawa pang mga senador yung nagsabi nga na hindi daw ito ang magiging role dapat ng AFP dahil yung police powers nga ay nakaatas sa PNP, Jessica.
Cedric, tama ba? Parang nagbabago konti o bahagya itong narrative ni Pangulong Duterte sa kanyang mga speech, no? Kung dati binibira niya consistently ang Amerika, sino pa ba, yung mga human rights, etc. Ngayon parang simbahang Katoliko na lang ang natira dun sa mga dati pa niyang binibira, tapos parang updated na yung kanyang mga binibigay na detalye sa kanyang speech. Hindi na yung katulad nung last year na paulit-ulit lang yung mga binabanggit niya. Tama ba tong yung nagagrasp ko from his speeches? Cedric?
Kung pagiging updated, Jessica, dahan-dahan naman na-observe natin na kumbaga nag-a-adjust na rin yung mga statements o yung mga speech ni Pangulong Duterte. Siguro pwedeng isang bagay na ma-mention natin dyan, yung last year, yung paulit-ulit niya sinasabi na sa kanyang sa kanyang kampanya kontra droga daw, nawawalan siya ng 2 pulis kada araw. Recently, siguro sa lumipas na 1 month siguro, hindi na natin naririnig ito. Updated na yung kanyang statistics. Although I apologize kasi I do not have the statistics now, pero minimension niya yung number ng mga pulis na namamatay doon sa kanyang drug war o mula sa hanay ng pulisya. Kanina sa kanyang speech, Jessica, meron pa rin siya mga patutsada patungkol sa US, although wala na sa pwesto si dating Pangulong dating US President Barack Obama ay na-mention pa rin. Meron pa rin mga maanghang na salita sa US, sa UN rapporteur na si Agnes Callamard ay although hindi niya minention yung pangalan ni Agnes Callamard, ay nagparoon pa rin ng mga maanghang na statements ang Pangulo. Ito ay patungkol pa rin doon sa mga batikos na tinanggap at patuloy na tinatanggap ng Duterte administration sa kampanya nito laban sa droga, Jessica.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Cedric Castillo.
Meron po tayong paglilinaw ngayong gabi. 4 at hindi 5 ang opisyal ng NBI na inalis sa pwesto at inilipat ng ikangay assignment. Kaugnayan ng kaso ng Koreanong si Ji Ik-ju. Sila ay sina Ricardo Diaz, Darwin Lising, Jose Yap at Roel Bolivar.
Kaugnay ng Tokhang for Ransom kung saan mga banyaga partikular na mga Koreano ang target, mga kapanayam natin si Ginoong Kakwen Chua, ang chair ng Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, ang grupong tumutulong sa mga kaanak at biktima ng kidnapping. Magandang umaga po, Ginoong Kakwen Chua.
Magandang umaga.
Okay, Mr. Chua, kayo mismo naging biktima kayo ng kidnapping, no?
Opo, I was a victim of kidnapping way back 2008.
And then you and the other victims felt a need to help this group that was set up in 1993 pa.
Since 1993, this was set up by founding chairperson Teresita Angsi. So, nung after naging biktima po ako way back 2008, parang nakita ko yung blessings na itong grupo na tulong na binigay sa amin. So I joined the group and to support and help others.
Okay, and as part of this advocacy, yung pagsuporta dito sa grupo, nag-testify kayo sa Senado kamakailan, ano? And then you
Opo.
talked about some recent cases.
Yes.
Okay. And then you said may mga ilang cases na very similar doon sa nangyari kay doon sa Koreano si G.
Yeah, actually, itong is not an isolated case as katulad sinabi ni Senator Lacson. Actually, based on our data, July 19, meron na ganung klaseng kaso nangyari. So, this is not an isolated
Okay,
case.
but medyo gruesome yung nangyari kay itong Koreanong negosyanteng si G. Ik-ju, ano? So, how similar was it?
Kasi usually, I think this is an outshoot ng mga tokhang nangyari. Due to the blanket authority given by the President, although we sincerely understand yung passion ni President para ma-solve yung krimen against droga, pero nagkakaroon ng offshoot ng ganito. So, sana maripaso ito, ma-review, mabuti, bago i-reinstate ang tokhang.
Okay, well, as you know, na sinuspinda na ng gobyerno itong Oplan Tokhang, itong drug war while kini-cleanse daw itong PNP. You know? So, ano yung reaction nyo dyan? Is this a positive step forward? Do you think magkakaroon ng drastic reduction dito sa mga nangyayaring Tokhang for ransom?
We hope so. Kasi yung pagpapatigil ng itong suspension na tokhang is for the review ng effectivity ng itong operasyon against droga. So, kasi ang opinion namin, itigil mo man ang operasyon, hindi rin titigil ang mga masasama dyan sa gawain nila. So, they just have to review at i-reinstate how to effectively implement.
Okay, you're talking about some previous cases na similar dito sa nangyari sa Koreano. No? Are these foreigners who are victims or Filipinos or what?
Based on our record, itong nakaraan na 6 months, mostly the Chinese nationals in Binondo ang nangyari.
Chinese nationals, meaning they're not Filipino citizens?
They're not Filipino citizens. Actually, the day before I appear at the Senate, nag-courtesy call ang new Chinese Embassy Consul General, Mr. Lu, nag-courtesy call sa grupo ng Teresita ang C sa Kaisa headquarter. Yun ang binobrought up nila. Kami naman ang...
Yung Consul General ng
Chinese Embassy.
Chinese Embassy, the People's Republic of China. No? So, na-bring up sa grupo ninyo?
Na-bring up sa grupo
na nabibiktima yung citizens nila? Okay.
And ang request namin sa kanila, they have to help us flush out these victims to testify. Kasi ang karamihan sa kanila nagtatago sa takot. Di rin natin masisisi, pero sana it should be a teamwork As I said in Senate, there should be complaint and they should file a case para mag-prosper ito.
Itong mga Chinese victims na sinasabi ninyo, ay buhay ba lahat ito? Or did they suffer, some of them, or one of them suffer the same fate as its Korean?
Buhay lahat sila. Buhay. Usually, ang nangyari sa kanila in 24 hours to 48 hours, ganun
Nagbabayad na.
Kasi ang sa grupo namin sa MRPO or Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, once you are taken away unwillingly and ransom money was demanded, kidnapping na classified namin. But for some, they classify as extortion. No?
Okay, well, as we know, there was some police involvement dito sa kaso ng Korean G. Ik-ju. Was there any suspected police involvement in the case of these Chinese nationals who were kidnapped for ransom?
Meron na. Actually, may mga policemen and other law enforcers. Actually, may documented ata sa CCTV. We are so glad that the NCRPO Chief Agbayalde and the MPD are reviewing those already. Those things.
So all 6 of the cases that you're talking about na na-document nyo, lahat yan may involvement ang police?
I cannot say kasi yung iba ayaw lumabas So, may mga nagsumbong lang ganito.
Pero ano yung modus nila? Were they saying, Oplan Tokhang ito, and then they abducted, similar dun sa nangyari kay G?
There are some cases na ganito. There are some cases kasi may suspect din kami, they might be in illegal business like fake products, ganito.
Just ni-raid sila ng police, kinuha sila.
Parang ganito. It's hard to classify kasi kung hindi sila talaga nagbigay ng testimony.
But all of these victims, they did not report this to the police?
Some reported, some don't.
Okay. And then, ano yung sinabi nyo dito sa Chinese consul? Sinasabi nyo na dapat mag-testify, meaning gawin nila yung ginawa ninyo, go to the Senate and present what they know.
We're encouraging yung mga biktima ng nangyari sa last few months na to appear, to give a statement, to file case.
Yes, kasi yung sinasabi ni Chief PNP Bato de la Rosa, itong mga lumalabas nga ng mga sinasabing scalawag, no? Mga isolated case daw yan. They are assuming regularity daw dito sa mga nangyayari sa Oplan Tokhang, yung mga sinasabing ng laban, mga napatay, no? Dahil in self-defense ng police. No? But you're saying kanina, these are not isolated cases, itong mga Tokhang for ransom. No? Kasi you know of at least 6. And then some of these did not even report to the police. And I don't even recall kung lumabas sa media itong mga kasong ito. Hindi yan lumabas sa balita, no? Yung 6 na yan.
Request kasi ng mga biktima to have their identity be...
So you think, your group thinks that there are even more, hindi lang masyado na-document ang grupo nyo, there are even more cases na hindi lumalabas sa balita at hindi rin na-report sa police. They're just trying to keep it hush-hush dahil, they were being threatened or they're just scared of testifying or telling others about it?
I think both, yung fear at saka talagang nagtatago sila ganito. Actually, based on my record, based on Teresita Ang's record, it's 11 cases.
11 cases?
11 cases.
And all Chinese nationals? Or
yes.
most? All? So you think the Chinese nationals are being targeted specifically? Kasi we want to distinguish between the Chinese nationals, no? They're citizens of another country and most likely they're not very fluent in Filipino versus the Chinese who were born here and grew up here and identify themselves as Filipino or Chinoys. No? Those are two separate groups. So most of those being targeted, from your understanding, are the Chinese nationals, hindi yung mga Chinoy group. The Chinoy community.
Medyo nagbago ang estilo. Puro Chinese nationals ang naging target for the last few months.
Why do you think that's so? Have you talked to any of the victims na nakipag-interact ba sila sa mga nag-kidnap sa kanila? Why are they being the ones targeted?
Hindi rin nila maintindihan eh. Ewan ko kung nagano sila, nagsasabi ng totoo. Pero base sa amin, may few people who said na they might be into illegal business kaya natatakot sila magsumbong.
Yes, kasi may kauuwi lang na Koreano, no? Galing Korea, and he's also claiming that he was victimized by Tokhang for ransom. Do you know of other Koreans naman? Kasi sabi mo nga, itong movement nyo for restoration of peace and order, it includes victims of all nationalities, na kidnap. No? So you're just talking about Chinese nationals. But yung lumalabas sa balita ay mga Koreano. So do you know of Korean cases as well?
So far, wala eh. Kasi yun nga kami, people usually misinterpret us as purely for the Chinese nationals or the Chinoy, no? But actually, ang MRPO is composed of many races. Maraming Pinoy doon, marami din, meron din American, meron din Pakistani.
So may American victims and Pakistani victims? But these are not in the last several months?
For the past years.
Noon pa to. But we're talking about just recent cases and you're saying all or most of the recent cases that you know of are Chinese nationals.
For the past few months, puro Chinese nationals lang.
And then all of them, was similar yung mga modus sa kanila. I mean, their families paid ransom and they were released. None of them were killed, like si G.
I mean, like the Korean national. So none of the Chinese nationals were killed.
So ngayon, sinuspindi na itong Oplan Tokhang while some cleansing of the police ranks is being done. Ano yung nais nyong makita? Are you also seeking redress of grievance or justice for these victims who already paid for their release and who are still around?
Sa akin, I do understand yung sympathy, yung passion ni Presidente na linisin ang droga sa ating bansa. Siguro katulad sinabi ni Senator Hontiveros na kailangan ibahin estilo, no? Iba yung estilo. And it's a time parang for them to suspend to cleansing at saka baguhin yung effectivity ng operasyon. I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, well, I think there's no debate about the desire to rid the country of crime in general, no, including itong mga illegal drugs. Ito nga ang estilo nga ang pinag-uusapan. So some are even suggesting na mag-resign na si PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa, no? Do you agree with that call? Sa tingin nyo, as part of the cleansing of the PNP, ay kailangan talaga may ganong klaseng overhaul na pati yung chief ay mag-resign at talagang a complete cleansing of the PNP?
Sa akin, it's a question of problem on the management or the problem on the system. No, I view this more on the problem on the system. No, kasi itong nangyayari ito matagal nangyari, but the sad thing is that itong nangyari sa mismo sa loob ng Camp Crame. No, so we can consider that as both the failure of the management, the failure of the system. But for the last 7 months, we can feel the sincerity and the passion of our PNP chief De La Rosa in his work, in his campaign. No? So I think we have to give him another chance to redress this one. So I think he's in a better position right now to cleanse the PNP. He should stay.
Okay, but there are critics, of course, who are saying na itong ginagawa ni PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa is being used kind of as a cover by other policemen to do things aside from attacking the drug industry, the illegal drug industry, and using it for their own private profit. Ano? So, paano kaya titigil to? I mean, you know, if you have a drug war like this, talagang may makakalusot na mga scalawags na ganyan and take advantage of itong campaign na ganito.
I think the PNP chief, after this incident ng Korean National, is in a better position to address this one.
Okay, pero itong sinasabi nila na ano, this is yun nga, parang iba-iba yung pananaw na narinig namin, ano, na on the one hand sinasabi nga ni PNP Chief Bato de la Rosa na these incidents that we're finding out are isolated incidents, pero si Pangulong Duterte mismo ay he said the police are corrupt to the core, no? And this is the same force that he empowered and vowed to protect, no? So ano yung dating sa grupo ninyo? What is the message that is clear to you?
We're very happy with the statement of the president recently. And same with Senator Lacson. This is not an isolated case. So they have to start cleansing it talaga somewhere there.
Well, see, speaking of Senator Lacson, no, he showed some video, some CCTV video, I think at the same hearing where you testified, no? Some supposed policemen in undercover and in civilian clothes entered I think an office, a call center office, I believe, and planted drugs, supposedly, no? Planted drugs on the desks in the office spaces, and also kind of manhandled or nangbubog pa sila ng mga ibang office workers. Ano? Do you know other similar incidents like that? Kasi yun din, sinasabi ni Chief Bato, isolated incident din yun. No? Hindi naman palaging nangyayari. Meron na kayo nababalitaan ng mga ganong klaseng modus?
For the past months ng mga biktima, may iba nagsabi ganun din ang modus ng ginagamit ng kapulisan.
Meaning, may nag-grade na ka-civilian, may nangbugbog, may nag-plant ng ebidensya?
They cover your eyes, then they throw a bag of something and take pictures on you and threaten you with other cases. Ganun.
And then yung nagtanim din ng droga? Ganun,
something like that.
Or evidence? No? Okay. But,
so, kaya lagi namin worried yung blanket authority binibigyan ng presidente. And the Malacanang might need to review on something. Kasi too much power, parang may kasabihan absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Well, mukhang binabawi na yung absolute power na yun, at least temporarily, no? Pero sinasabi ng ibang biktima na kilala nyo, no, na nangyari din sa kanila sa opisina. But is there also CCTV video of that incident where, yun nga, nilagyan sila ng blindfold at binugbog sila, nagtanim ng droga, katulad ng nakita natin dun sa video na pinipresenta sa Senado?
Unfortunately, wala.
Walang CCTV. Wala. But some of them are claiming that the same thing happened to them. No? So, at least if there are several other cases, hindi masasabi na isolated. Yes. And then that's one of your main points doon sa Senado. Ano? So of course, the 7,000 have been killed, no? Both by police in drug raids and operations by the police, and yung killed by unknown assailants, sinasabi mga vigilante, etc. Yung sinasabing EJK.
Riding in tandem.
Yeah. Are some of those victims, did some of them report to your group also? Do you know of any of them? Are you familiar with any of those who are killed?
We're not familiar with that. And we're more on the anti-kidnapping talaga.
Yung anti-kidnapping, pero none of them have been killed.
So far sa record namin, wala.
And then yung alam ko si Tessie Angsi, has been very active in this issue. She's part of another group, no? Or is it the same group, no?
It's another group, the CACC.
But both of you are working on the same issues. Yung sa kanya naman nakafocus sa Chinese community, right?
Di ko rin masyado.
But your group...
It's more anti-kidnapping.
Okay, so how do people get in touch with your group? How do they find out about your group? Kasi sabi nyo nga, it's only Chinese nationals who are reporting to your group. But maaring, we know that there are also Koreans, but they're not reporting to your group, no? So you have a website. Is there a way of contacting your group kung nais magpatulong sa grupo ninyo?
Sa mga nais magpatulong, they can call up our headquarters in Kaisa, in Intramuros. I-search lang, Kaisa.
That's the kind of the Chinese community center.
Yeah. Nandun din yung Bahay Chinoy. So they can reach us through that.
And what kind of support do you give? Is it simply, do you provide legal defense or advocacy, financial support?
We just give our support during and after the kidnapping cases. So we give moral support to strengthen them, to empower them.
Like advice?
Yeah, advice.
And what would you advise victims, like if they're going to be victims in the future, should they be coordinating with the police, knowing what we know now, that some policemen are involved? I mean, should the police be involved in negotiations, in trying to free victims? Ano ba usually advice nyo?
Ang usually mantra ng MRP or Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, that if you pay big, if you pay fast, and you did not report to the police, chances are uulitin yan. So if
you pay big, if you pay fast, and you don't report to the police, so that's not what to do. Kasi uulitin yun.
That is not what to do.
So what should they do?
They should report. They should cooperate.
With the police?
With us, with the police.
And they should not pay?
Whichever they're comfortable with.
Okay. And then let the police negotiate?
Let the professionals, those who are in charge, and guide them.
But you will put them in touch with the police that you trust. Because, I mean, nakita na natin na, not everyone in the PNP can be trusted, right? So, there are certain forces that you trust there na pwedeng i-refer yung mga biktima doon para sila nang makipag-coordinate, makipag-negotiate din.
I've been working with the PNP since way back 2008, and I have encountered so many good policemen in our force. It's very unfair kasi talaga kung minsan out of the 200 strong, may 5 lang katiwalian na beblemish ang buong PNP. We have to give the dues whatever is dapat.
Okay, but you have to know who these are, no?
Yeah.
Bago kayo mag-refer ng biktima. Kasi ayaw nyo naman na lumala yung problema ng biktima, di ba? So you would be able to identify the ones who can really help.
With our existence of 24 years in MRPO, medyo gamay na namin kung talaga sino dapat kausapin at hindi.
Okay. So you're a very important resource. Maraming salamat sa inaitutulong nyo sa lahat ng biktima. Ginoong Ka Kuen Chua, ang chair ng Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order.